Your data estate doesn't need to be complex, but with data everywhere, it's difficult to harness its power. At Microsoft, we're solving for simple, speed, and conversion. In this video series, we'll demonstrate how. Hi, I'm Tim Smith. I work for Microsoft as a global black belt, and I help our customers on their journeys to transform with AI. I'm calling this video the integration problem. The way that business systems have evolved over the last couple of decades, companies have implemented best-of-breed systems. So it's not out of the ordinary to have 10 or even 20 systems where we've written custom code to integrate systems to get data to move from one system to the other. And this has created a very complicated data estate. And that complexity equals cost. So part of the costs come from the building and maintaining custom code. It's IT complexity that is impacting customers of ours who are going through mergers and acquisitions to grow. And the cost of integrating another company that has a very complicated IT data estate actually devalues those companies. And one of the hidden costs is the speed to innovate. When you have a complicated data estate, being able to embrace new technologies like generative AI, it's much more difficult to be able to get the data because data is everywhere and we're trying to get it orchestrated in a new data model to be able to get the value of Gen AI. So what if we had technical architecture that enabled us to move data between these systems of activation, from analytic systems, transactional systems, to systems of activation with no code and zero integrations? I call this zero integration innovation. And before I get into the technical architecture whiteboard, I wanted to recap very quickly. If you haven't seen any of the first 4 videos, I'm going to make reference to things like Microsoft's vision of Gen AI and personalization and how it's transforming customer experience, and the evolution of CDP, a whiteboard of modern data architecture, and some best practices if you're embarking on this journey of CDP. So if you need to go deeper, check out those other videos. And I'm going to leverage one of the best practices that I mentioned in that last video of starting with a customer story or a hypothesis. So it's a use case driven approach to embracing customer data platform. So in this hypothesis, the hypothesis is that by understanding our customers' web behavior, we should be able to create critical measures like average time on page to infer intent or interest in a particular product. I can use that measure to develop a lead score model that I can use in our customer journey orchestrations to personalize messages that can go out at the right time using the right message, depending on where the customer is in their process, and develop higher quality leads that enable us to route those leads to sellers at the right time to convert more. So let's go through this whiteboard. I'm not going to do the full whiteboard this time, so if you need to reference that, go to the earlier videos. But in this whiteboard, I'm going to focus on one data point. As I mentioned in earlier videos, sometimes our customers get stuck on thinking they have to have this full 360 to be able to begin to get value out of their CDP. I'm going to use this example to show that we can use one data source like web pages to begin to get value quickly. So one of the ways of moving data between these systems, a lot of our customers have already invested in data lakes, and they're using tools like Azure Synapse, Azure Data Factory to move data into their data lake. In this use case, this is an exception to that pattern because some of this capability of ingesting data from a web page into the CDP is now native. We can do it in real time. So we can move the data into the CDP using out-of-the-box capabilities. We can create profiles of these unknown customers, and then we can push that data into Dataverse. We'll create a measure called average time on page using the web-based behavioral data. We'll use that measure in a lead scoring model in our system of activation, customer insights journeys, to then better orchestrate communications with the customer and at the right time route that lead to our sellers. And we can do all of this with no code and zero integration. So in this video, we're going to demonstrate part of that solution. Over the next 2 or 3 videos, we'll go through the steps needed to build out that entire solution with no code. Let's jump into a demo on taking that snippet of code and putting it onto a website. So here I'm in Customer Insights data, clicking into the web tracking and personalization area. Here you can see we have a snippet of code. We can just literally copy this code and then I can go to my web page. In this case, I'm simulating another external website by using Power Portal or Power Pages website that I've created for Tim's Tidbits. And we're going to go to the Power Pages management area. And here we're going to see this snippets capability to create content snippets. And what I'm looking for is this head bottom. I've already created one, but I'm going to replicate that just to show you how simple it is. Literally, we're going to say head bottom, and we're going to pick the website, and we're going to say the display name is head bottom. I want to use HTML, and the code language that we want is English, and I'm going to paste in that snippet of code. So I'm not going to save that because I've already done it once, and it is here in this. So now that I've saved that code, my web page is immediately available to begin tracking this data in real time. So let's see what that looks like in Customer Insights. So I'm going to go back to Customer Insights data. When I click on customers, I have now unknown and known customers. So you can see our known customers have names associated with it. Our unknown customers have no names. Literally, we just have a GUID. So I'm going to click into one of these, and we'll look at the data that we're able to capture in real time. So here's our customer ID. It's a persistent ID that we'll use as this customer moves from unknown to known. Here is the cookie, that snippet of code placed on this profile. And this is all the activities that we've gathered since we've pasted the code on the website. I can see all this web behavioral data. And from this, I have the data that I need to begin to calculate a measure for average time on page. So to recap, what we've done is we're addressing this hypothesis of by knowing more about our customers' behavior on a website, we can gather that intent information through behavioral data. We went into the CDP, we grabbed a snippet of code, we added it to our website, and we began to get that real-time data coming into our CDP, and we were tracking the GUID and the cookie ID and all the web page behavioral data. In the next video, we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to take the web behavioral data that we're gathering, we're going to create a no-code measure that'll be pushed into Dataverse, and then we'll be able to use that no-code measure in a lead scoring model that we can use in our customer journey orchestrations. Thank you again for joining this episode of Tim's Tidbits Tuesdays at 2. Look forward to catching up with you on the next episode.
Tim's Tidbits Tuesdays at 2.